silk and nylon suture materials in your kits there. And Nicole, like I was telling everybody, is there's 3 things that you need when you're doing sutures. You need what they call needle drivers, which you should have a set of those. Okay, and they're blunt nose and they're shorter, so we can control that needle. And then you got a set of scissors or a single point set, where one side is rounded and one's got a point. Okay, you just got 2 points on yours.
Okay.
And then what they call tissue forceps, tissue tweezers. And see, they got little teeth,
okay.
so we can grab and maneuver skin
Huh.
if we need to approximate or just a big word to get closer.
Sure,
So
you can actually get a bite and.
Oh.
So I can pull that over and close up that gap. Okay. And so now we could spend all day talking about the different type of suture material that's out there. All of them have different tensile strength and they have different cutting needles and that. That's beyond the scope of what we're going to do. They put in there silk braided, which depending on the size is easier to work with than some of the monofilaments and things like that. But really what they put in the kits would be things that you would use. And you see there, I think all that stuff is 4/0, and that's just the size of the needle and of the material that's there. And they've got bigger and so on and so forth as you go. So there's all kinds of different things that are out there, and that's just silk. These are really big hook ones, so if I would have to do something like tack a chest tube in, I don't need the tools. I can use my fingers because these hooks are about yay big. Then we get smaller. This is some 3/0 ethanol, and just the different types. If you look at this one, this is proline. This is 6/0. If you look at those, look at how thin that is. So, that might be something. Depending on where it is, where you need something that's very delicate. Maybe if you're inside of the mouth for that. And so
that looks smaller than a hair.
It is. And when you start to try and tie knots and things like that, it becomes extremely problematic.
Oh, good. Yeah, the same.
And yeah, they're the same. You can
sorry.
Okay. Now, like I said, there's a variety of other things. So, but if you get yourself some silk, some like 3 and 4/0 ethanol and ethylone, and some braided silk, and that you'll be able to do a few things. Okay, so obviously we want to clean the wound out. We want to get it as clean as possible. Soap and water works great. Okay. We want to do this as sterilely as we can, but in context of what we're doing, we want to just be as clean as possible. If you have surgical gloves that are sterile, that would be a good idea if you can put a field down, because we don't want to introduce any bacteria or any pathogens that are in there that can go start an infection. Okay, but again, we're just going to start doing technique. So I'm just going to use what I have here. So when we pull this out of when we open up the package, and you guys will see it, normally your needle will be in there, and we want to grab it with our needle drivers and pull it out. Okay, and then we want to get it to where we can work with it. And so depending on which way, and we'll have to start one way and go back the other way a lot of times, but the first thing I'm going to show you guys is just a simple interrupted, meaning we're going to do one suture at a time. Okay, now it's an easy way to do closure, but it's really time consuming. Okay, and then I'll show you guys what they call a simple interrupted, which the technique is still the same, except we're not doing a knot every single time. Okay, so I want to get the needle to where I can work with it. Okay, we want to choose enough skin because we want to get a bite and we want to get that closure of the skin or the approximation of the wound. So I'm going to start a little bit far, and it's got a curvature to it for a reason. Okay, so I want to start far. I want to come underneath, and then I want to try and come out, and I'm using my tissue forceps. to bring it out the other side.
Do you want to get under the wound, like under
Yeah,
the
so-
cut channel?
If you guys look, I caught just the bottom of it here. Because this is a pretty shallow one, but like I said, we don't want that cavity on the inside, so you want to try and go deep enough to try and close it. Now there's some more complicated techniques, I guess, if that channel is wider, so like something like this one, because I could put something in the top and I might get it to approximate and close, but I'm going to have that channel on the inside. So you can kind of double this up and go around. I'll show you that in a little bit. But yeah, you want to get low so we get that closure all the way. Okay, and then we want to pull this kind of out of the way. And now, doctors will tell you not to do this. What I do is I grab it with my hand. Okay, because this is considered a sharp, and they don't want you stabbing yourself. Okay, and I don't have a whole lot on this one, but so we want to do a surgeon's knot. It's basically a variation of a square knot. It's just got an extra throw in there. Okay. Now there's ways that you can do it with your fingers. I don't have enough on this where we can come and do it this way, but I'll show you the easier way. Take your needle drivers. Remember which way you're going, okay? So I'm gonna work away from me first, so I'm gonna do 1, 2, away, grab, and pull through. Okay, see how it's come together?
I was like fly tying.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got practice at this already. You didn't even
You'd
know
probably
it.
be pretty good with it. So that second throw kind of holds it together. Okay, now I worked away from me that time. Now I'm going to come back towards me. 1, 2, grab and pull through. Get that. And now I'm going to put the knot. I like to put the knots over to the side a little bit, so that way I got a place to grab it. Some people put it on top, but now I've got a knot, a surgeon's knot, that's not going to come undone. The second throw keeps it on the first, so it doesn't come, because if I only did one throw, when I let go, it's just going to pop. And then I take my scissors, and in this case, I want to leave good tails, so I can see it, and later on when I go to take these out, I can grab up on one of these tails and pull it up so I can get my scissors in there to pull it out.
I would have tried to cut as much off as I could had I not known that.
Yep. So I like to leave a good tail on them.
My apologies, guys. I just want to get them.
So now we see we got this one's a smaller, so smaller needle. But so now we can see where it approximates, okay? And then I just want to go to where it starts gapping out again. So I come underneath. And don't be surprised when you do this the first time if you come shallow, you come way far deep or whatever. Just even if you do it on somebody, just pull it back and come a little bit shallower.
Don't.
Just
sorry.
sit
Let me
still.
try
I
again.
missed it.
Be still.
Quit squirming. Dang it.
So I work forward, 1, 2, pull through. Work towards me, 1, 2, grab and pull through.
I don't know if I quite get the knot, but I'll.
Yeah, I'm terrible with knots.
Don't
This
worry,
will be a
we'll-
shit
That's why I'm
show.
going to send you the video.
Yeah.
We'll
In
talk.
slow-mo?
Huh?
In
You
slow-mo?
can slow-mo it.
So now we've got approximation there, and we can keep going. Okay, I'll come over here and do one just so you can see the knot again. Okay. And one click to hold that, one click, because we don't really want to hold them back here. What I'll do a lot of times is I'll click it in and then I'll come up here where I have more
Choke
control.
up on it, yeah.
I have more control, and I got my index finger.
So, are you just showing the different needles, or did you use the big one and then switch to the little one on purpose? You always start with that big one and then move to the small
No,
one?
I just, this is what I had sitting out here.
I got you. Okay.
From previous times I did, so just to use the suture material.
Is one easier than the other for you to manipulate with?
For me, the bigger the needle, you got more to hold on to. You might want a bigger needle if you've got a bigger cavity.
Gotcha.
Although if I was to do this one, and so sometimes if we have this large gap, especially if we have a smaller needle, so I can't get this needle all the way through, right? Or it'd be problematic. So what I can do is, again, grabbing those tissue forceps, I can come through.
Stretch it.
Yeah, it's a little bit off, but you guys get the point. And then I can pull that approximation. So you would need a different suture for this, but again, for you, Nicole, I only got a little bit here, so I want to remember which way you work. Okay, so I'm going to work away from me initially. So I'm going to go over the top, twist, okay, away from me, grab that, pull it through.
The pulling through is what I'll just have to try it.
Okay.
That's what I'm
And like I said, there's going to be a gap because you would need a different technique to close this up, but just so you get the idea. But it's going to grab onto itself. It's wide, so it's going to be hard. Do it over here.
This cabinet on the left is where glasses are in there. Being blocked.
Okay, so over one, away from you, over two, grab it, okay, and then just pull towards you. And then you just got to work the end out.
Andy, get the
Okay.
water out of here.
So you're just pulling it towards you.
I need my nitrates.
You might get
Tighten
these
it down. Now that I worked away from me, now I'm going to come towards me. So 1, 2. You sometimes got to turn this over and then just pull it through. Pull the end out. Give it a tug. See, I got the end there. Now I've got my knot. Oops.
So the first one he did isn't really a knot. It won't hold. That's why he has to do that second one.
So think of it like this. How do you tie your shoes?
Choose
Velcro.